just keeps on building. But it's not just that it keeps on building, it's that we have to keep getting rid of stuff too, because there's a lot of stuff to sort through right now that's just like collection grabs. This gaming shelf is going to be a massive sort of stuff that's going to be going bye-bye. But man, it's getting better. It's getting so much better. Every single one of these Masters of the Universe figures that I collect are just awesome. They're so good. And I finally got, did I show you guys? I got the other Skeletor. So I told you I was buying him twice, and I did. I bought him, then I bought him again so I could do this. And I did the same thing down here. I bought him, and then I bought him again so I could get him. We haven't talked about him yet. I have one that's still in box and one that's right here so that we can actually talk about it. There's the minis. There's some stuff over there that hasn't yet been talked about. Yeah, just everything. So cool. But we did get a new item today. Rather, I picked up 2 new items, actually, because I got in the mail something that I ordered a while back. If you guys follow me on Twitter, you've probably seen it. Yeah, I got the Man-at-Arms Origin. This is cool. I like this a lot. And as usual, it has really solid box art and everything like that. So we're going to be keeping his card. I'm pretty sure I already have his mini comic and everything. This dude's mustache is amazing. So amazing. But we got another one, which may be another one of those things where we buy it twice. I don't know yet, but got the Beast Man. Oh, look, you can see me in the reflection of my own phone because of how I'm holding it. This is really cool. It's a really solid figure. It might be, I don't know if I'm over-exaggerating. It might be the best one that I have. One of the best. One of my favorites. It is really solid. It is really cool. And so now I have a decision to make. I've got to, of course, unbox it and check it out. And I've got to look it over. And I've got to figure out if I want to display it one way or the other. And since I don't have an original Beast Man, and I love the Masterverse, I've heard arguments from people that say, oh, well, it's about ridiculous to buy 2 of them because you already have 2 display options. Maybe that's true for you. And then, of course, you could say things like, well, you already have a Skeletor because you already have an original Skeletor because you bought Dumbface Skeletor. But that really isn't the same. It's not. It's just not. It's not the same because Dumbface Skeletor, while he's really awesome and I have a lot of fun with him and he's cool, and I also have another Skeletor, which is a more original version of Skeletor, it's not the same as the Masterverse-looking Skeletor. They are quite different in my opinion. And maybe to some people, one design is better than the others, and maybe you really like this original Skeletor and not so much this one, but for me, the Masterverse design, the way the figures are designed is phenomenal. This is an amazing recreation, reimagining of this that I absolutely can't get enough of. It's because of that. It's because of that specifically that personally I feel like if I'm going to do something like this, I want the display options that I want. And original versions of these characters done in the Masterverse line is just so good. I love the fact that they create the concept characters, the new Eternia, which new Eternia is so good. I love the concept design ideas. But I love that once you take all the accessories and stuff off of them, and they come with the alternate heads and the alternate hands and things like that, alternate armor sculpts. I love that you can basically build an original version, a new updated original version of the character. I think the Masterverse line, I love Origins. I'm not walking away from Origins at all. There's still a lot of Origins that I have coming in, and there's a lot of Origins that I'm currently hunting down. Teela's the next thing that I want specifically. Teela and then an Orko from Origins. Those are the 2 that I'm currently looking for. But saying that in general, I can't help but say that I really hope that the new Eternia line goes full tilt. I do. I hope it goes all the way through. I hope we get all kinds of cool stuff. And I hope, and maybe I think they've got me with this one. I really do. I think it would not be surprising at all if I end up buying 2 of every new Eternia, because I love this Beast Man. And I want to display that Beast Man. But I can't help but think that I also want to display Beast Man in a Masterverse design. Original Beast Man in a Masterverse design. And the only way to do it is to pick which one of these I'm going to display. So, like, that kind of locks me down to either having 2 of them so I can display them both like I did on the shelf over there, or having 1 of them and picking the design I like the most. This means that it takes me a lot longer to collect, and I have to skip on a lot of other things, but that's collecting. That's collecting literally at one of its deepest points, is creating the rule set of what matters to you in said designs, in said creations, what the collection means to you. And as I move things out of the collection and I move things into the collection, this is something that you get used to over time, is picking what it is you feel is important, what it is that you feel is cool, what it is that you feel you should be focusing on. And sometimes that means passing up on certain things or taking a lot longer to get certain things that you might want. Because is it more important for me to get the next new Eternia Beast Man to repeat a second buy of the Beast Man? Or is it more important for me to get the Orko or the Tila? And that's the way it is. And sometimes when you make that decision, you really have to think about it, because you might be passing up on something that isn't going to come back around for a little while. So it just is the way it is. You gotta make sure that what you get is what you want, and really stop and think about it. What's it mean to you? What's it matter to you? And don't be afraid. Don't get this mentality, this hardcore FOMO that you're going to miss out on something. Yes, it might take you longer to get it. And yes, there's a possibility you may pay a little more for it. But things, they come around in time. And especially if it's a retail item. And I know that Mattel has really dropped the ball on a couple of these things when it comes to Origins. But if it's a retail item, just like that Pack of Evil that was out, that was breaking the toy industry and nobody could get what they wanted, I got one, and I got one on discount because it was basically peg warming by the time I got to it. And that's not the only character that I've gotten that way that was impossible to get your hands on. Just slow down. Mattel is making mistakes, but they're constantly moving forward, and they are making waves of this retail, and they're doing re-releases like the She-Ra that I missed, that I was going to have to pay $80 to get a She-Ra. As far as I could tell, for whatever reason, like Big Bad Toy Store has one coming back. And I don't know if it's been changed to have the better knees or what, but it's not. It's basically a rerun or a reprint of the character, is my guess, because they're supposed to get one here in a couple months, and I've already pre-ordered it, and instead of paying $80, I'm going to pay $20. And see, that's what I'm getting at, is if it's a retail item, and if there is demand for it, more than likely they're going to come back around. It's not always the case. You will miss out on things, and you will have to understand that sometimes you can't have everything, but that's part of collecting, is the uniqueness and the chance that you will have something that somebody else doesn't have, especially in a property this big. So just really focus on the characters that you want, the things that you want, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And this video turned out way longer than I meant for it to be, because I was just looking to show off some collection and talk a little bit. But hey, later on.